What's up, everybody, and welcome to a Friday edition of Weekday Wagers, where I promise you, if you're not watching live, you're already behind, and all your friends, well, they're already hanging out with us. So make sure you tune in live every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Promise you won't be disappointed. But on Fridays, we go big, and it's all about giving you a 12-pack. That way you get your 12-pack. You're ready for the weekend. You're enjoying the entire weekend. And yes, the entire weekend, because we have plays from every guy on every day this weekend. Starting tonight, we are loaded with some plays to get you started. It could be different sports, but then Saturday it's college football. Sunday it is the NFL, because the NFL is back. We saw that last night, and hopefully we'll continue to see another good game tonight. We just do not need another weather delay, because one, my voice can't handle another YouTube special for a weather delay special with our guy Marky Model, and a guy who, if you missed it, Seabass came back and joined us. Seabass was phenomenal. We got a chance just to hang out again because he's so busy. We haven't been able to have him on the show, but he's still around. He's still part of the brand as a whole. But if this is your first time joining us, thank you for hanging out with us. I am Daniel Greer. When we do have these other two gentlemen here with us as well, and there he is, the man in the middle, the San Diego Charger pride showing on his chest. What's up, Mark?
Listen, it does say San Diego because I refused. The minute they moved, I bought everything that said San Diego. One, it was on the discount, but two, I refuse. This is my silent protest to ever acknowledge Los Angeles. So let's go, Bolts. You're still my team. Love you. I can't wait because I will be unbearable to coach on Monday.
Yes, and I hope that for you and for all of us. That would be exciting. We're going to get into that game here in just probably about 30 minutes. We're going to get through the first college football game that we want to discuss. We're going to give you our plays, and then we're going to be able to break down that game fully as we did yesterday on the show when we had our guy Raphael join us. And the guy on the end, we got a Rams jersey on the day. What up, Rob?
Yeah, man. I went the same thing as Mark. I went with the St. Louis Rams jersey. Greatest show on turf. I loved Isaac Bruce. I got a Marshall Faulk jersey too, so I went with the theme of Mark today.
All right, well, it's all about cats.
It's hard to take you seriously with the cattail coming up here.
It really was hard to give that out. The cat walks by.
Yeah, I didn't even. All of a sudden, she jumps up here and is like, "Hey, pet me." I am joining the show as she is joining the show. As I've told you, we have a new dog. They are all scared to death of the dog. The dog thinks they're all best friends. And so when you walk in a room and you're a cat and there is a larger-than-life dog, he wants to be best friends. You don't want to be best friends, so they do not hang out with him. So this is their haven of rest, but you got to go. All right. Well, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and start breaking down some college football. And if you have a play on this, or if you have another game you want us to look at, potentially Mark might be able to dig into the model a little early before it comes out on the website over at justicestatsports.com. You can get your first month for $1. Use the code NFL100. We're going to break down the best game, in my opinion, of the day. And it's going to be Michigan taking on Oklahoma. It's at Oklahoma. The line now 4.5. It was 5.5. But now it's fallen a little bit. Mark, what does the model say on this game?
Loves Michigan at plus 4.5. Model has Oklahoma winning on the money line by 62.6%, but with only a 3-point margin. So I love the 4.5 there. You get a little buffer of 1.5. I love that look.
Okay. Well, I do not, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Rob, how do you feel about this?
Man, I think could be a sloppy game, especially with two quarterbacks. You got Bryce Underwood making his first road start in Oklahoma, and then you got John Mateer, who he's played some ball before. He played at Washington State last year. This is going to be his first real test with competition too. This isn't a Pac-12 defense that he's going to be facing. So I think it's going to boil down a lot to what the quarterbacks do tonight.
Yeah, and if you look at this game, as you were talking about, it could be a little bit of a sloppy game. I was trying to see and find out the exact number it opened up at. It opened up at an over-under of 53.5 that I'm showing here. That line's almost moved down 10 total points. Rob, what insight do we have on why it might have moved that far?
Again, I think it's the quarterbacks. It's also just the running game. Neither team really, statistically, it looked good, but neither team really ran the ball well last week. Oklahoma, I think, does have the edge wide receiver wise, but I just don't know if they think there's going to be a lot of points because of just the unknowns in this game. There's not a dynamic wide receiver that just stands out to you. Jaden Ott, that's going to be making his first start this season too. Yeah. For Oklahoma, that might be a game changer, but again, there's so many unknowns because he had a shoulder injury as well.
Yeah, and Mark, any idea why that line might have moved almost 10 full points? That's a lot for a total to move.
I was just checking for the weather forecast to see if the weather has something to do with it, and the weather's supposed to be fine for tomorrow. 76 degrees, partly cloudy, 5% chance of rain. It's got to be just the quarterback play. To be honest, both these teams in their first week, while they won, I mean, they weren't against big-time schools that they squeaked out those – I shouldn't say squeaked out. They won, but the teams that they played were certainly not up to a caliber that they should have been as close as they were. I guess the best way to put that.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at this anytime I see a total that's that low, you're talking about 44.5. So let's just say a 40-point game that we're looking at this point. I think there's so many scenarios that Michigan can cover a 4.5, 5.5, whatever the number is, because of a low-scoring game. Because of that, that's the only reason I would side on Michigan here at the plus money. Because, you're talking about, it could be 21-20, right? It could be 24-20, 23-20, 20-17. There's so many different ways that it could fall into that 4.5 and even 5.5 where it kind of opened up. So that's why I really would side with Michigan. But I think that the best team is going to be Oklahoma. I know that Michigan, there are a lot of people like them. I think Oklahoma is an underrated team this year. It would not shock me if this is a blowout, 30-10 game, because I think Oklahoma is that good, and I don't think Michigan is that good. But I'm curious how this all lays out. So let's go ahead and just pick the winner, no spread. From top to bottom, I'm going to go ahead and go with Oklahoma as a winner. Mark, what say you?
If this is a blowout, it's because Oklahoma wins and they win huge. If it's an upset, it's because the under hits and this is a real tight defensive game with neither offense doing anything. I don't see that happening. I think that both teams can score. Give me Oklahoma.
Okay, Robbie.
Same. Give me Oklahoma. I think, they've won 20 straight non-conference games at home. Michigan, they beat New Mexico 34-17. So, you let New Mexico put up 17 on you. Yeah. Oklahoma's going to put up more than that. I think Oklahoma will win this game. But, again, I think it's going to be ugly, could be tight. All depends on Bryce Underwood and John Mateer in my book.
Yeah, and the quarterback play is very, very important. But let's go ahead and we'll maneuver from the college side and we'll get to the NFL. But we already have our picks. You're here. You're waiting for them. We're going to let Robbie get it started. So your Friday play, Rob, what you got?
Yeah, going a little lighter on MLB these days. And it's not really because the slate's bad. The slate's way better tonight than yesterday, but I've just been in NFL mode, and it's hard to juggle a lot of different sports at once. But I do like these two guys tonight, William Contreras and Vlad Guerrero, both just to get a hit at -103. I checked at other books and put them together. It's around -114 to almost -120. So I love the value here at DraftKings. Contreras has a hit in 90% of his last 10 games. He's faced Pittsburgh 9 times this season, and he has 11 hits overall against them. The last time he faced Johan Oviedo for Pittsburgh was on August 3rd, 2023, quite a while ago. But he went 2 for 3 with a single and a double against him. Brew Crew needs to get on track. I think this is a good start for them against Pittsburgh. Then we're going to go to Vlad Guerrero. Vlad hates the Yankees, if you're unaware. He said he would play for every team but the Yankees. Just for some animosity between when his dad played. But he's faced the Yankees 10 times this season. He has 11 total hits against them with at least 1 hit in 7 of those 10 games. He's been heating up, too, since the end of August with a hit in 4 straight games. I think he's going to go off tonight. I think he loves to show out in New York. You put both these guys together for a -103 just to get a hit.
All right. I like those. I forget about baseball just because I'm so in NFL mode at this moment. And even college football, I was looking through all right, there's so many I want to pick. And so because of that, that's a great feeling. I'm not having to all right, that game, we're going to put that away. I really like this game. There's got to be something in this game that I really like. Instead of having to do that, it's literally you just open the book and it's right there. So very beautiful. All right, Mark, you're up next. What you got for Friday?
Look, shifting gears. Yes, I have a lot of plays already on the NFL game, but I am going to the ladies, the WNBA, because the sparks are a-flying. LA is taking on Atlanta for the second time in 3 days. They lost the first one. They need to win. It doesn't. You don't need stats on this one. You don't need, who's playing, who's in, who's out. Well, actually, we do need who's out because Alicia Gray for Atlanta is out because she's getting rested up for the postseason because Atlanta is firmly in the playoffs. LA Sparks, they are 1 game behind the Indiana Fever. If they do not win both games, this game tonight and then again Sunday against Chicago, they're out. They're done. Look for them to come out, have a huge game. I love this spot for the Sparks to get right and at least make it close going into the last weekend of the regular season.
All right, a little WNBA. You've gotten hot lately on WNBA, so maybe it was me. But that means today, probably not a good play.
We reconcile.
Hey, shout out to my Valkyries, too. They made the playoffs with that win last night. They're in, baby. Never a doubt.
First expansion team in the WNBA to ever make it to the playoffs.
I'm glad something good is happening because Caitlin Clark is now out for the season with that groin injury. So that's a wrap.
They might they play Chicago tomorrow, and Chicago has a chance to drop Indiana from the playoffs. If they beat Indiana tomorrow, and you can't tell me Angel Reese isn't pumped up to play in that game, I will be targeting Angel Reese props, just so you know. But yeah, it's bad news that Caitlin Clark's not playing again this season. It could get worse for them.
Wow, that would be ugly. All right, I'm going to go to my Friday pick, and this is going to be for the game that is later this afternoon. And it is the NFL game. We're going to cover it, and we're going to break it all down just completely. But I had to start off with a kicker prop. I didn't do it last night, and Brandon Aubrey officially a play. I loved him because that's what he does. Brandon Aubrey is the man, and that's what he kicks field goals like it's his job because it is his job with Dicker the kicker getting 2+ field goals. There's so many different ways I wanted to potentially attack this. You can go ahead and go after the 6.5 total points for kicking points. It's at -130. You can go over the 7.5, which is you need him to get 8+ kicking points. He's never gotten 7 ever, like last year at all. Like he's either going to go 6 because of the field goals or going to go 8 because of the touchdowns. So I would say if you want to play 1 or 2 of these, you can go after the 2 field goals if it makes you feel better that they might not score 2 touchdowns. Perfectly. That's what I did. The safer play, -115. But if you want to go after plus money at +108, you can go after 8+ points for Dicker the kicker because they're averaging 2.4 field goal attempts per game. Away, it's even better at 2.7. And so because of that, I like Dicker the kicker to score us 2 field goals tonight. And so the model, even though week 1 kind of messed me up last night with actually seeing real stats on our model, kind of pissed me off during the middle of the game. I'm checking the numbers, but we figured out some ways to look at it today. And so we were able to just kind of see it. So, but yes, I like Dicker the kicker tonight. Well, maybe I'll ask y'all's opinion when we get to breaking down that game. But let's go to Saturday. Saturday, college football. I think we're all heavy on college football. Robbie, start us off.
Yeah, Ole Miss let us down last week. They should have had 14 points. Dude threw an interception in the end zone. Started off shaky, but they got right back on track. And this game is a smash spot for me. I got this at 8.5. It opened at 10.5, so it went down. Doesn't scare me one bit. Lane Kiffin loves to swing that petty machete, and he's going to swing it a lot tomorrow. Kentucky beat Ole Miss last year, and that was one of the games that dropped them out of the college football playoff. I think Ole Miss comes out hot. I think they're going to try to beat Kentucky and beat them bad. Give me Ole Miss -8.5 at BetMGM at -115 in that one.
I love that. I almost made that a play, and then I saw yours already loaded with the Lane Train revenge game, and I thought it was a great play. All right, well, I'm going to go to my games next here, and I have 2 overs, first half overs. I looked at both of these on the full game. I like those just as well as I like the first half. So I'm going to be very honest. The only reason I went after the first half, I felt like the numbers, they're going to cover both. If they do cover any, they're covering both. I don't want to watch the full games. And so I went with first halves only for Utah State and Texas A&M. We're going to go the first half over 30.5 at -110. Utah State actually can run the ball pretty well. Texas A&M, they started off slow last game. They still got to 21 points. Both these teams are bad at defense, in my opinion, but they both can score enough. Let's get 31 points in that first half. And then my favorite team, Texas State. They're taking on UTSA. We're going the first half over the 32.5 at -102. Dude, these teams, they don't like each other, and they suck at defense. So they're going to have to score, and they're going to be fast. And so because of that, both of these teams are going to score early and often. And so we're going to ride with the first halves. And so I like both of them to get off to a very, very fast start. All right. Just like our start, fast. We're almost through Saturday. Mark, what you got?
Listen, if you have not heard about the battle of the border between KU and Mizzou, you are missing out on one of sports' greatest rivalries. This thing goes back to 1891. It's how long these two teams have been playing football against each other. They hate each other. Mizzou went to the SEC. They no longer played each other every single year. They're back. It's back, and I am here for it because Bo Pribula, the quarterback from Mizzou, has been absolutely lights out. Their starter went down last season. Bo stepped up. And Bo knows how to throw. He cleared this. We're taking him over 217.5 passing yards at -108. He cleared this line by 73 yards last week. This is a heated rivalry. I expect Mizzou to come out firing on all cylinders. To his 4 favorite receivers, all of them had an average yards per catch of double digits. I love this spot for him to go well over the 217.
All right, Bo, whatever the hell his last name is, I hope he throws for those for sure. All right, well, we're here to Sunday, week 1, the NFL season. It's literally like a present, even though I didn't get to open anything besides watching a game that went to lightning last night and pissed me off because they did nothing. And then CeeDee Lamb, all he can do is catch a cold and can't catch any passes once he gets to 7. Anyway. Let's get to our Sunday picks. But before we get there, we got to take a look at our presenting sponsor, Afterburn.
When the solar flare hit, we lost our humanity. You have a gift for acquiring treasure.
And what would I be hunting down this time?
Mona.
The Mona Lisa? We're headed to the worst place on the planet.
You're welcome.
How many tanks does this guy have?
All right, that is Afterburn the movie. Go check it out. It's coming up very, very soon, just like these picks. Here they are, Sunday. I'm so excited. All right, Robbie, start us off.
Yeah, man, like I was saying the other day, it's hard to find some good player props because the lines are already way up there or they're too juiced. But I found 2 that I really like. First, we're going to go Bo Nix, 20-plus rushing yards at -102. He averaged 26.4 rushing yards last season. He cashed this prop in his last 5 games of the season. Quarterbacks averaged 25-point rushing yards against the Titans last season. One of those guys, Mac Jones. He had 22 rushing yards on the Titans. I can still run faster than Mac Jones, and I would definitely love to race Mac Jones. But this feels like a game that Denver should handle, and I think it's going to allow a lot of Bo Nix taking off, scrambling, getting those easy yards. Give me Bo Nix, 20-plus rush yards at -102.
Nice.
And this is a guy that I went to last year, David Montgomery, over 9-plus receiving yards, -110. I think this is actually my favorite play on the slate. Look, he's cashed this in 8 of his last 10. The last one he didn't cash was because he was still kind of injured in that Washington game. He's fully healthy. Detroit's got Jahmyr Gibbs. I know that, but DeMont should still be their 3rd down back and their pass catching back. Green Bay, his opponent, has allowed opposing running backs to go over this line 19 times last season as well. And I think, let's see, David Montgomery has cashed this in almost all of his games against Green Bay, 71% of his games against Green Bay in his career.
All right, I like him. I was excited because I literally pushed the button way too early. Don't know why I pushed that button, but I'm glad it didn't mess you up like it messed me up. But I do like those. And I'm looking in the chat. People are already putting in their stuff, their plays. We have Nonsense Spaghetti putting in a 6-legger. We're we're going to get to that because we're going to break down that game in its entirety because it's about this game tonight. And so we're going to get there. It is a no sweat, which I love it. So I'm going to go ahead to my pick now. We're going to do another kicker because that's what we do. We're going to go with Chase McLaughlin over 7.5 points. And I told you, you can go either way, 2 field goals or points. The points I liked here over the field goals because I think Tampa Bay is the better team. I think they're going to be able to easily score 2 touchdowns. Because of that, I like the plus money and getting a guy who, when he plays Atlanta, let's just not talk about him. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay and Atlanta. In Atlanta, games are always madness. Like the scores are 30 plus from both teams for whatever reason, and it continues to keep happening. And I'm guessing it's the fast track there in Mercedes-Benz Dome, I believe that's what it's called. But either way, we're going to go for a guy who is projected. Well, I think the highest projection for points this week in Chase McLaughlin just to get us 8 points. All right. That is 11. And actually, that's 10. You got 2. Let us go, Mark. Let's get.
You got it. Let's kick in that afterburner, huh? See what I did there? I am taking the Cardinals for my first play on Sunday at -6.5 at -110. Here. I'm not overthinking any of these. It's the Saints. They're playing the Saints. I don't care that Arizona quarterback would rather be playing video games sometimes than actually out on the field playing the game that pays him. Anyway, I don't care. Kyle Murray will do just fine. He will be plenty. The Saints are horrible. They are the lowest rated team in our model projections at juststatsports.com. I love this spot for the Cardinals to win by at least a touchdown. And then talk about overthinking. Simple question for you. Who remembers what they were doing on November 13th of 2023?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. Guess what? That's the last time that the Buffalo Bills lost at home during the regular season. Give me the Bills here on the money line at plus money. It's a trend. You just can't balk at it. Look, I will back the Bills at home every single week until they lose. Give me Bills Mafia.
Wow. Yeah, 8-0 last year, home. It's hard to bet against that anytime for sure. So
November 13th of 2023 is the last time. It was at Denver. They lost to Denver on a Monday Night Football game.
So you actually do know. That was like
I remember what I was doing that night, watching football because they lost.
I can't even guarantee that I was, but I probably was, but I have no idea if I was. All right. Well,
I was like, wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you know that. All right. Well, it's time because we're going to break down the actual game that is happening tonight in Sao Paulo, Brazil. That's correct, right?
Yep.
All right. Not bad.
Sao Paulo.
So go ahead and get us your picks in, and we'll discuss them and break them down. And if it's a 6-legger, because that's what nonsense does, then we'll make sure that we discuss it. But let's go ahead and get to the game first. As we discuss the Chiefs and Chargers, you look at the money lines here, and you can go maybe on both. You might want to play this a live play if you like the money line,
right?
Because a 3 number, it could be very much a push. And so depending on what edge that you might get out of this, as well as that 47 number is lower than last night's total. So, Mark, I'll start with you here. Does the model have any value on any of these lines?
So the model has Kansas City projected to win at 4.5. What it's not able to account for is the field condition in Sao Paulo, Brazil. That field got torn up last year. So I expect to see a lot of defense. I think the under is here. The model has projected to, oh, shoot, I knew it right off the top of my head. Hold on 1 second, I'll tell you. I think the under is projected to be at 42.9. So that's a ton of wiggle room right there that you're getting a lot of value there playing the under. But again, this is something that I would look at if you're going to be playing a side. Wait for kickoff, because I'm telling you, if the number is going to increase, especially if the Chiefs come out and score first, you're going to get a really good line on the Chargers. And I do think that the Chargers keep this close. I think they keep it a lot closer. They could possibly win it, depending on how the field holds up.
I like it. I like it. All right. Well, we see the public money down there. Public is all over the under with both the money and the amount of bets. They're very split, very much in the middle, and the point spread, and then the money line. They like the Chiefs, which anytime you have a Chiefs at a minus, one number at some point,
Right.
whether it's 199, it doesn't matter. Like they're going to hammer that pretty hard. But Robbie here, going to you. Which do you like? Because one, shout out to your son John watching and hanging out. Nothing better than having your kids being a part of what you're doing. Always a lot of fun. Always a happy dad moment. But let's talk about this game. Anything on any side that you like?
Yeah, I kind of like the Chiefs, and the biggest reason is the offensive line of LA. Slater goes down. The Chiefs' defensive line's kind of banged up, but last season at the end of the year when they played Houston, they allowed, I think, 14 pressures, 3 sacks, and Herbert threw 4 interceptions in that game. He only had 3 interceptions all of the last regular season. So the Chiefs can get to Herbert and disrupt that offensive line. I think they could easily pull away with this. But field conditions, offensive line, I think both those are the biggest questions I have in this game. The Chargers can sustain the pass rush. I think they have a great shot at winning this game. But I got to see that offensive line and see how they hold up the first few halves.
Yeah, and there's a lot that's been talked about, and Joe has here, like, the field conditions have to be better than they were last year. Mark, do we have any news at all if they've actually done a better job this year?
No, I'm sure that they have. It would be foolish to think that they were like, hey, that was great last year, wasn't it? No, that's just so. Yeah, I know that they have been working on to keep it a little more sustainable and playable throughout the entire game without the huge divots that we saw last year. I just don't know that with the type of grass that they use to grow for the soccer stadium down in Brazil, it's not the same grass that they're using, obviously, here in the United States. I just don't know how well it's going to hold up and durable. Because let's be completely honest, I mean, professional level football is a lot different than a soccer football game, right? In the use and wear and tear on a field. Yep. You got a lot of big boys digging their cleats in. You know what I mean? It's gonna get tore up.
Not frolicking and falling when they get bumped. No. Sorry, that was a shot.
That was Mahomes.
Yeah. Oh yes, that is. All right. Well, it looks like Kim says the NFL contributed to the turf renovations this year because you have to put money on your investment, which is your players, right? So very smart for the NFL.
Well, and last year the field looked like a monster truck race course. You know what I mean? It was just all sorts of divots.
No doubt.
The NFL should have the funds to fix that field with what they're making with all the Disney deals.
They should. All right, let's get to the quarterbacks real quick. And I have both here. So you pick your poison, whichever direction you want to go. And Robbie, I'll start with you. We got the passing yards here, both in the 230s, 240s for both guys. And then very attainable for an interception for both guys with these numbers. Anywhere you're going that you would look at?
I'd probably look at Herbert's interceptions just for, like I said, the offensive line and just remembering what he did against Houston when they actually got some pressure on him. For the over on yards, I kind of like Mahomes because I know they said they want to be more explosive in the passing game. So let's see tonight if they're actually going to do that. I know Rashee Rice is not there, but they still want to try to make that passing game more explosive this season. So that would be my 2 ways to take those.
All right, Mark?
Yeah, I like the over for both quarterbacks on the passing yards simply because I think that, especially with all this turf talk and, field conditions, et cetera, that always shifts the needle to the offensive side, right? The offense knows where they're going. The defense doesn't. That's when cornerbacks, defensive backs start slipping, sliding, falling down. So I love both quarterbacks to go over here, especially because if it has bad field conditions, they're dumping off to running backs. Passing yards start to add up that way as well. I would hesitant about Justin's interception simply because he didn't throw many interceptions last year. I just think he's in that offense. The scheme of that offense is to protect Justin and keep him with short mid-range passes. They're not looking for the big bombs or anything over the middle. They're looking side outs and out in the flats. I would go under for his interceptions. I think Mahomes gets crazy. We'll throw a wild pass or two, and I like his over. If I'm going to pick an over there, it's going to be Mahomes.
Yeah, I think it's going to where a
little
lot of
split
people are
decision there with me and Mark.
Yes, I like it. I like it. Finally, we disagree on some things over here. And I think that's a lot of people, and especially the public, is leaning into Mahomes throwing a pick because he tends to leave one, up over the middle somewhere, or maybe a tip ball for an interception for sure. All right, before we get to the receivers, though, I see a lot of people already putting in their saloon shots, and completely I appreciate that. We're going to get into our saloon shot as soon as we get done breaking down this game. But a little spoiler alert, we haven't been doing this way probably since we've been with Coaching Company. But when the NFL is here, we always try to pick a first touchdown from whatever game that we're all covering. This year, we might do some things differently where we go to different games and just go after one touchdown for the first touchdown and different games just to kind of have some fun, to have a little bit of play and have it all spread out. But because the game is tonight, we're picking the first touchdown from tonight's game. So go ahead and start looking at those. But we already have our picks in. We'll get to those here shortly. If you want to go ahead and put them up in the chat, you might put yours in there and then have to retract it because you're on the same side as Mark later. So whatever you want to do, you can go ahead and put it in now, or you can wait till you see what Mark picks to see which side you want to go with. So, but let's go ahead and Robbie, let's keep this going here. We got Ladd McConkey, obviously a 71.5 number, and Xavier Worthy are the two big guys. But then Travis Kelce, is it a bounce back time for Travis Kelce? Any of these guys that you like at all in their number?
Well, Kelce has covered at least 40-plus receiving yards in like 8 of his last 9 games versus the Chargers. So I don't hate his number. I'm actually going to go off the board and say Will Disley over 15.5 receiving yards. Yep. I like him. You look back in his history, he's cleared this number quite a few times last season. I know they brought those tight ends to probably help the offensive line, but don't be surprised if Will Disley gets that catch on his first reception.
Yes, and that's kind of what I almost made that a play, and I decided to go with 2 college because I like those. And I even have another college one that I'm going to put up tomorrow that I'm already settled on. But Will Disley, I do like that play. What did you get? What number was that? Because I saw 16.5 earlier.
I saw it 15.5. Okay. It was at DraftKings. That was early this morning. But I've already seen Juju Smith-Schuster's line move. That one could have moved as well. That was real early this morning when I saw that. I like it, and the fact that, but Tyler Conklin's number was bigger than Disley, and I didn't understand that because Will Disley has obviously, the understanding of the offense better, and it should be able to catch, better passes in the scheme. The only thing that worries me is he's probably only going to get 2 targets, so he's going to have to catch at least one of those for a decent run. So that's the only thing that's what kept me off of it. It wasn't as safe of a play as I like my kickers. So. I went with that one. But Mark, any of these guys you like?
I think McConkey has a big night. I think that in order for the Chargers to really look, they added Najee Harris. I know he hasn't done anything all preseason simply because he had an eye injury because he's an idiot for playing with fireworks. What are you doing, Najee? So I know that he's coming back. He is playing. He's confirmed as being played. He will be in the game getting usage. I love him to pound the ball, and especially with Omari and Hampton, I think that they have an explosive backfield. That's going to open up the passing game. Last year, the Chargers did not have a rushing game whatsoever to speak of. It was one-dimensional. They had to throw the ball to move the ball. This year, it's not the same thing. I really like McConkey to then get to be the beneficiary of this new offensive scheme.
Yeah, and he's been putting up huge numbers. And the rest of the guys, if you look at them, we talked about Disley and Conklin, but, Johnston as well as Keenan Allen, they're not – Keenan Allen's great, right? But he's older, right? And because of that, I don't think he's a guy you can rely on. The possession receiver is going to be Ladd McConkey.
Yeah.
So you could look at different ways to attack him. That 71 number is a little high, but we saw with CeeDee Lamb, he ate that up last night. And so I expect that to keep happening.
And CeeDee would have sailed well past that had he just caught 2 more passes.
Yeah. Right.
I'll add this too. Look who's covering McConkey. If Christian Fulton's on McConkey to start the game, I would start hammering his live receiving yards. Because when I saw Adoree Jackson was covering CeeDee Lamb, I immediately started hammering it. And it was like big play, big play, big play. So if McConkey's getting covered by Christian Fulton tonight, I would hammer his receiving props.
And when you see that, okay, you're coming out first, Rob, and you're seeing, him on the other side. Do you want to be hesitant and watch? Do they follow each other depending on if they swap, or do you look for schemes, or are you just saying, if I see him just right away on him, I feel confident that they can keep finding and attacking that, I guess, that matchup?
That's kind of what I did. Last night, I think Lamb caught his first 2 balls, and both of them were on Adoree Jackson. So I'm like, well, if they're going to keep Adoree on him, I'm just going to go ahead and hammer Lamb now. I think they're going to have the same thing tonight. I think they're kind of weakened in their DBs. I think they've got some injuries going on. Christian Fulton is also dealing with an injury. So, like I said, if I see him lined up across from McConkey, I don't care what scheme they're running. I know they're going to try to do that more, and I'm going to hammer McConkey.
All right. Well, that's why we want to dig into it, because we all do things differently. And any insight like that, always good, especially on the live numbers, which could be low if they don't throw to him the first series down the field.
Right.
All right. Well, let's go to the running backs. And Mark, we'll start with you on these. You like, obviously, Hampton, got a big number. First start, first game ever in the NFL. Then you have Najee Harris there. Any of these guys that you like for either team?
Actually, I love Najee Harris to go over 21.5. I think that he is going to get the ball. They're going to work. I mean, is he going to get the ball a ton? No, he's not. But in games last season where he only got 33% of the snap share on offense, he cleared this line in all 7 of those games. So he doesn't need a lot of touches to get the yards. More importantly, he's going to start pounding that defense, which is going to open things up for Omarion Hampton. I actually like Omarion Hampton's rushing and receiving yards. I believe it's at 63.5.
Okay.
I love that look because I think they set up a lot of screens and get Omarion open to the flat and to the outside of the line.
I like it. All right, Rob.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to my Patrick Mahomes take. He was on the hard target section the other day. His number actually went to 15.5 on Fanatics, if you have that. I have 16 at Fanatics, so I'm same number at Fanatics. It's gone up to 17.5 at most of the other books, but I would play it up to 17.5. He's cashed that in 6 of his last 8 games against LA. LA's allowed quarterbacks to get loose and get out of the pocket. I think the Chiefs like to do that with Mahomes, get him out of the pocket, see what he can make with his legs or his arm. So I'm going to stick with my Mahomes at 16 plus.
A guy who I like on this, Xavier Worthy. I think that there is a way that he can catch one behind the line. Like, he doesn't even have to get the handoff, right? It just needs to be behind the line or I guess behind the quarterback where he's catching this. And because of that, I still think if Xavier Worthy can be that guy, or even the little push pass from Patrick Mahomes across the middle. They like doing that kind of stuff. All of that, I still think that we see a guy like Xavier Worthy get some kind of handoff somehow, some way, and get at least 4 yards. And so,
yeah, if not Worthy, look for Tyquan Thornton, the receiver they got out of New England. He runs a 4.3 40. So he's that quick wide receiver that they love to take deep shots. I could see him getting maybe a handoff or a short pass behind the line to see if he can take it off.
Crazy. All right. Well, this is Mark and I's time to talk. So we're looking at this, Mark. Kickers. We have Butker, who's still in the kitchen, and then Dicker the kicker. Either one of these guys that you like better than the other?
Yeah, listen, I'm hard pressed to bet against Cameron Dicker, not just because he's a Charger, simply from what the Chargers did last season. All right, Harbaugh literally was not one of those analytic coaches was like, okay, so what's it supposed to do here on 4th down? He's kicking from everywhere because he's got a kicker with a leg that can hit it from anywhere. I love the Dicker props, especially going over 1.5 field goals. I hammer that one. I'll be all over that one. And I like the over 6.5 as well. I believe he averaged, if memory serves me, last year he averaged 7.5 or 8?
Over 8 is 8.6, I believe.
Yeah, 8 points. Okay. So yeah, I love both these spots. And I know somebody in the chat had said earlier about this was turning into a kicker show. You have to understand something. We created this model. We were killing it last year with these kickers. And so, yeah, we're going back to the well. And if there's going to be something that cashes tickets for me, I don't care what it is.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't care what it is. And I like Butker as well. The only thing I would not touch a minus 140 for any kicker for 2 field goals. especially when it has a 7.5. So if you're wondering why kicking points compared to field goals, you really just need 2 touchdowns. If you feel confident that you're going to get your 2 field goals, you really could just feel okay getting that plus 105 going to over 7.5 number. So you just need 8 points. And honestly, he could kick 3 field goals and you're feeling good still there. So you don't have to rely on that. So if the numbers aren't too skewed, then I would like to go the field goals. But since it's skewed for Butker, I would go over on the kicking points. I don't know about their style. And I think that sometimes Andy Reid, because he has Patrick Mahomes, will go for it more than I think that we'll see with Harbaugh. So that's the reason.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, with Cameron Dickers over on the 1.5 at minus 115, I mean, I would play that instead of the over 6.5 at minus 130. I mean, you're basically saying he's going to kick 2 field goals because the Chargers are not going to score 4 touchdowns.
That's the biggest thing is you're expecting them to get 31 points then. Like,
right.
All right, that could happen. And if it happens, so be it.
They win the game.
You chalk that one up to a loss. It is what it is. But yes, that is going to be the game tonight. So final thoughts. I'm going to start with you, Robbie, because I see a Charger next to you. But the game, I want to see, do you pick what team on the spread? So that we'll say the spread's 3. Who do you pick on the spread? And then who do you pick to win the game?
Chiefs and Chiefs.
All right. Mark.
This kills me. If I take my fandom out of it, I would have to say the Chiefs and the Chiefs. If I take my fandom out of it, but I think I like the Chargers I did play the Chargers for the upset. So
I honestly, I think the Chargers on both. I think the Chargers can win. Obviously, they cover if they do win. I don't see why the Chiefs aren't the big juggernaut that they used to be.
Right.
I think that this could be the year that Justin Herbert actually bounces back because he has 2 good running backs now. And that's what Harbaugh wants is 2 good guys, 2 good running backs. Both can catch the ball out of the backfield enough. Plus, they had Lab McConkey. I think there's an upset tonight down in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
We'll see when that offensive line starts, man. If they come out hot and look good, I don't disagree with you. But that's the biggest thing that scares me is their offensive line.
Where's that 8 ball when we need it?
Oh, he's here. He's here. All right, let's ask. Let's ask.
He probably needs to think about it.
All right.
Ask him later.
Yeah, probably. King 8 ball. Are the Chargers winning the game tonight? You may rely on it. That's close enough for me.
That's all I need.
That's all I need. All right, let's go through some of these questions real quick. Taj, play the Chiefs -3, so he's in line with you all. Lab McConkey over the 5.5 receptions minus 120. Everybody agree this is a really good look.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Going to college a little bit. We'll go bounce back a little bit. Missouri -6.5. You like that as well, Mark?
Mizzou been kicking Jayhawk ass since 1891.
Wow.
Now that's a T-shirt.
It is a T-shirt, actually.
Oh, okay. Nice.
We have -2.5 for SMU at -115. Anybody?
Who are they
That's what
playing?
I was going to look right now.
That's not a game I looked at very much.
It's a team I don't love. I do know that they're going against.
What time is that game, DJ?
Bro, I have no idea. Saturday?
They're playing
Baylor.
Yeah. SMU -2.5. I love that spot. Projected to win by 4.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go, Taj.
Also, a huge under on that game. In fact, I will tell you right now, according to the model, that is an A-rated play. That is a hammer play on the total. The line right now is set at 65. Total projected to be 56.
Question on this real quick. It's -115 for SMU at 2.5. Mark, would you take SMU on the money line at -134? So you have a little bit of juice there that you're drinking.
I would. I guess it really boils down to what's your comfort level. You know what I mean? I mean, how stressed do you really want to be going into this game? If you're saying, hey, SMU is going to win this game at -135, that's the price you pay for having just the peace of mind knowing all I need is a win.
Yeah.
I think the value there is at the -2.5. You're saving yourself 30 cents or 20 cents by taking it something, and especially with the model projection at 4 points, I think you're getting some baked in extra value with that as well.
Okay. All right. Robbie, does this make you feel bad that we're all on Oklahoma?
No, not really. I still just like Oklahoma in this game. Nah, we're good.
All right. Let's get to some of these real quick. Taj got slightly on the under in the Chiefs. Chargers under 47. Agree?
Yep.
All right.
I like that look.
All right. I saw this earlier. Kim has her plus 4,883 6-player anytime touchdown with FanDuel, and Saquon was one of those last night.
Well, there goes the under.
Right. Well, no. So it's across multiple games.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I thought it was for tonight.
So, Robbie, you're a touchdown guy. Do you like these? Because you start off with Barkley. Tonight is Xavier Worthy. So then we got Malik Neighbors, Chase, Gibbs, and then Henry.
I do like Worthy because I think he's got like 7 touchdowns in his last 4 or 5 games. Don't hate that. Malik Neighbors, they're playing Washington. Don't hate it. Just I hate his quarterback. I hate Russell Wilson. So that's the only thing that worries me. Jamar Chase, they're playing Cleveland. Love that. Jahmyr Gibbs, again, he's another one that gets in the end zone often. And Derrick Henry, I love Derrick Henry anytime. But it's Buffalo. But last time he played Buffalo, I think he stiff-armed Josh Norman into oblivion. So
he still hasn't recovered from that, by the way.
No.
Would you be opposed with swapping out Malik Neighbors for Kyren Williams for the Rams?
I actually like Williams better. If you're asking, I'd take Williams or maybe even Chase Brown, a Chase and Chase touchdown prop.
Oh.
And if you're for those who weren't with us last year, Kyren Williams had the most first touchdown. So you can play him either to score the first touchdown for the game or the Rams team first touchdown. He gets it. They give him the ball. If they're within 30 yards, he's touching the ball to get in the end zone.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah. All right. Well,
glad you brought that up. Totally forgot about that from last year. That's the smash spot that we hit like all the time last year.
All right. Well, Nonsense has his 29 plus 2,900. And so let's go over that real quick. We have Pacheco. Yeah, exactly. This is the craziness of Nonsense. Pacheco is over the 11.5 rush attempts. Marion Hampton over 11.5 rush attempts. So both those guys get 12 rush attempts. Mahomes to have 4 rush attempts. So you need 3 kneel downs for sure to get that, I think. And then Mahomes over the 1.5 pass touchdowns. Kelsey 50.5 receiving yards. Juju over 20.5 receiving yards. Plus 2,900, no sweat.
Don't hate it.
I was going to say for a no sweat, that makes a lot of sense. I think the one leg that we all agree on is that Mahomes over 3.5 rush attempts. I think that if this game is close and there's no kneel downs,
I don't think
you need him to run, obviously 4 times or more. Does he do that in a situation where he could hurt his ankle? I don't think so either. I think he's throwing the ball away a lot more, in his recent form than compared to when he was first getting into the league.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what his rush attempts have been against the Chargers. I know he's crushed the rushing yards, but against the Chargers, just looking at last year, he cleared it in his last 4 games, 4-4, 5-4 against the Chargers. And those are close games too. Most of these games were decided by 1 to 3 points other than a couple.
All right.
So,
Kimberly worries about Juju over the 20.5 receiving yards.
I'm not worried about that because I don't think Hollywood Brown's healthy. I think Juju's going to play a lot more, and I think he's going to fill in for that wide receiver 2. They have him listed as wide receiver 3 on the depth chart, but I think he's going to play more wide receiver 2 than 3.
Listen, I don't care what it is. No sweat plus 2,900 sounds like fun to me.
Why not?
Sign me up. Sign me up. All right. Well, it's that time of the show where I can't get into the saloon, and I keep trying to get into the saloon, and I'm dying to get in the saloon, but we're always going to shoot our shot, as we do today. All right, we have our friends already in. Miss Nonsense, Boom Boom, Robbie, Joe. They're all in. I'm not. And neither is Mark. So that makes me happy. But it doesn't make me happy that I'm not in. So we're going to try to get in today. And tonight, it's all about the first touchdown. So the potential, we have this thing surrounded. One of us gets in either for the first time or again. So, Robbie, start us off.
Incoming Noah Gray touchdown when neither one of us get in. I like Juju Smith-Schuster, believe it or not. You don't need 6 or 7 legs. Just give me one leg. And that's Juju's leg to cross the goal line at plus 2,800. Like I said, he's going to see an increased role. No Rashee Rice, banged up Hollywood Brown. He has the connection with Mahomes. It's always somebody crazy, right, that scores the first touchdown in these week 1 games. Who had Javonte Williams scoring last night? Who had him scoring 2, much less? So give me Juju tonight, plus 2,800.
Well, Mr. Tiki-Taki, I hope he doesn't catch the ball in the end zone first. That would make me sad. But I asked the 8-ball today, and King 8-ball, I asked him, and the first name I said was Isaiah Pacheco. Does he get into the end zone first tonight? And it said yes. A simple yes. And I never get the simple yes. I know it's plus 1,000. I had to look at multiple books to try to find some book that had plus 1,000. I believe it was DraftKings that had plus 1,000. I saw it. I took a photo just in case anybody doubted me. But the 8-ball knows Isaiah Pacheco gets a little handoff at the 2-yard line and a little stumble bumble gets in for a plus 1,000. And I am into the saloon. And that bolt up fella, he's jealous. But what do you got there, Mark?
Listen, I think both your guys end up scoring a touchdown tonight. I just don't think it's the first one of the night. Because not only are the Chargers going to get the ball first, keep 62% chance to get the ball first in this one tonight. But when they get into the red zone, Ladd McConkey is targeted 33% of the time in the red zone. Give me Ladd McConkey, first touchdown score at plus 1,300.
I like that one. And I saw it, and I thought about going that direction, but I just feel like I saw so many running touchdowns last night. I just felt like maybe it's like early on the season, we see a lot of running touchdowns. So that's why I targeted a running back. So
I figured I would let you two get your picks in first since I'm already in the saloon. I'm just going to leave the door open for you.
Shut up. I don't want to hear that.
Hey, fun fact. Joe got in this saloon by calling a first goal scorer prop. That was the first one that got in. So who knows, man? Who knows? I remember because Mika Zibanejad scored the first goal at plus 4,500, and y'all didn't think that was worthy enough to keep me from drinking hot sauce.
You are still so bitter over that. That is so hilarious.
Bitter berries. All right, well,
we're sorry.
Yeah, the saloon shots are as promised. Mr. Tiki-Taki Juju for Robbie. I'm going Pacheco, and then Ladd McConkey for Mark. So those are ours. Let's go ahead and look at some of these before we close out the show. But thank you all for hanging out with us. It's been a blast. These Friday shows, I know they get a little crazy. This is a little bit more in-depth. We want to lean into a little bit of the knowledge. That way we can dig into these games for you all. But we are going to always have fun. We're always going to be able to pick it apart. These shows are almost going an hour now. And just imagine, we try to start off early with a 15-minute show. Friday's 30, and now we've doubled everything up completely, which I don't know if that's smart. There's so much content out there. All right, Scott with a Y says, we're going Judge, Dumper, and then it's got to be Schwarber to go yard for a plus 3,300. We feeling good? Finally, again?
I kind of like Schwarber tonight. He let everybody down yesterday, so he's definitely due to get a yesterday play. So definitely like Schwarber in that one.
All right, well, let's go to Kevin's. Saloon shot's going to be Stanton home run. So Giancarlo Stanton, Maryland minus 16, Chiefs minus 3, and then Kelsey over 50.5 receiving yards. He's got everything in here.
Thanks.
So Stanton's got a good history. I don't know who he's facing, but he's seen him 24 times, has 2 home runs off him. So not a bad look there.
Okay. Maryland? I don't even know who Maryland's playing. No idea.
God, yes, I do. Hold on.
Stanton's facing Kevin Gosman tonight. See if I can pull up. Is Maryland playing? Is that tonight, the Maryland game? I take it they're playing tonight. They're playing Northern Illinois, the team who beat Notre Dame last year.
Yeah.
So
What was it? Maryland by 16? Absolutely.
Okay.
Northern Illinois doesn't shock somebody twice.
No. And then the Chiefs, right? The -3, and then the Kelsey over. Chiefs are going to go over.
Yeah.
They're going to win probably on the back of Kelsey going 50.5, so 51 receiving yards. That's at plus 2091.
Wow.
So little 2 number there for the saloon shot. And then let's go with, I think this is the last one we have, and this is from Nonsense. Hampton first TD. So obviously a lower number. And then he's saying, all I need is a little bit of gravy, not the juice, a little bit of gravy to go on that for a Chiefs plus 10. So the Chiefs keep this within 10 as long as Hampton gets the first touchdown, plus 1,200. Smart way of doing this, Robbie?
Hey, if Hampton scores the first touchdown, I think he's in. If he doesn't,
No,
it's already over.
No. Because
Hampton's like plus 700.
That's what I'm saying. That's the biggest part of this leg.
Yes.
If he doesn't get in, this is already dead.
Oh,
but
I
if
see
he
what you're
gets in, the Chiefs plus 10 is an awesome play. That's what I'm saying. If Hampton scores first, I think he's got it. But, of course, if he doesn't, it's already lost. So,
okay. So, just to be clear, and we just have just a couple minutes here, Mark, I'm going to ask you first. Is this a way that we can do this as the panel, not the chat? The chat can do what they want, whatever. They have the restrictions. No more than 4 legs, plus 1,000, however you want to do it. The panel, us 3, and anybody we might bring on the show, are we allowed to put a little gravy on a play for a play similar to this for a first touchdown?
You know what? Call it the purist. I think that it should be just the first touchdown for over 1,000. I do not have anything remotely close to dislike for this. I love this play. But I do think for the purposes of our saloon shot for the panel that we should have the first touchdown. Right. I do also like for Sundays picking one from any game.
Okay. So we can do multiple games, like whatever game you want.
Mm-hmm.
You just pick the first touchdowns going forward. Robbie, you agree, no gravy on these first touchdown numbers?
Yeah, considering we said we're going to call it the first touchdown, I think we got to stick with that. But I don't mind the chat. Yeah, I think
no, chat gets to do they want.
I love that. Actually, I love that look. In full disclosure, I used a alternative sports book and placed both the Chargers and the Cowboys plus 10.
Okay. There you go. That's not bad.
No, I got that for minus 105.
Hey, if you are betting first touchdowns, BetMGM has brought back second chance. So if your first one misses, but they hit second, get your bet back. So you look at a no sweat or that option if you're doing this. I wouldn't put the house on it, but those are some good ways to maybe make your money back.
No doubt. All right. Well, it's time of the show where we close shop. And so any game that you're the most excited about, any sport, any game, like 15 or so seconds, Robbie, what you got?
Yeah, of course, Florida, USF. A lot of people think we're on upset alert. I don't. I think we're going to handle our business, but I'll be a little nervous once it first starts.
Okay. I think that Florida or South Florida plus 17.5 is a great look.
So do I.
All right, let's go, Mark. What's the game that you're looking forward to the most?
Obviously tonight, but outside of tonight, give me the Bills and Ravens. Why? Because it should be a hell of a game, but more importantly, I think we got a show coming up right after that game.
That's my favorite game the entire weekend. The Cowboys are over. I love the Bills. I'm a bandwagon fan when it has nothing to do with the Cowboys. So I love Josh Allen. That's going to be a phenomenal game. And our post-game show, the debut show of the post-game shows for Weekday Wagers will be live early into the wee hours of the night / the morning. It'll be a late night for sure. But that's all we got. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Nonsense McGee, always, brother. Like, I love our chat. Our chat is the best place. Man. Genuine, good people, for sure. So thank you so much, man. I can't wait to have just a spectacular week 1 of football. Let's get it.